All right, guys, it is a gorgeous day in Georgia. We're back on the 2022 GSXR 1000R. I'm at 481 miles, so 119 miles to go before the oil change. I'm pretty sure I can knock that out today. It's Memorial Day weekend, and you know, the weather is being compliant, and it's actually cool out right now, so I'm getting a nice breeze. I finally remembered to put on some sunscreen on my arms, since I'm kind of doing the sleeveless gear thing because the weather is just so nice, and I can't even take this bike up to speeds that would warrant a tracksuit anyway right now, because it is being broken in still, of course. But yeah, that's basically going to be the video today. Is the final break-in ride of the 2022 GSXR 1000R, and then might be able to get in some oil change clips at the end here. So hopefully I can knock out these 119 miles pretty chill, and it'll be a good time, because another gorgeous motorcycle day. I'm gonna have to take the Corvette out too and drop the top a little later too, because today is just, it's too perfect not to. But we're headed to get away from all this traffic and get to the more quiet single lane roads, well, dual lane really. But I'm still loving this bike. I'm still waiting on the 2021 R1 to be completed. Living Good Motorsports is doing a phenomenal job. I cannot fault them at all for the bike taking long, because the Woolwich software is Australian software, so the customer service can sometimes be an issue if there's an issue with the software. You know, getting in contact with somebody all the way in Australia is probably not the easiest. Maybe just by email is probably the best, because I think they're on opposite daylight schedules. But they're just having a little issues with the Woolwich software. I think he's already got it at 195 horsepower, he said, but the Woolwich software is giving him some issues with changing the rev limit, and there's still more horsepower to be gained there. And that's all he's working on, so I think he's just waiting to hear back from Woolwich, and he's going to mess with the rev limiter and squeeze out another couple horsepower, and then I should have it back finally. And I got a new windscreen on order for that, because I saw how clear the windscreen was last time I stopped over there, and in comparison to the way this dark smoke windscreen looks, it's night and day, pun intended. So that should help make the bike look a little nicer, get rid of that clear windshield, and it'll have a Woolwich tune and a full titanium Evolution Acropovic system, headers and all, fully raced up basically. He's even removing the flap in the Ram Air to make it pretty much just like a track bike, like a race bike. So the Ram Air will be open 100% of the time. That means I will be getting 100% of the power all of the time. Before, like I said in some previous videos, you're only getting about 70%, sometimes less, the way the bike is set up, stock from factory. So this R1 ought to be pretty crazy by the time I get it back. But back to the GSXR. It's looking good. It's feeling good. Got a full tank of gas. 128-mile range. Oh, it's not even a full tank. I'm down 1 bar, so near a full tank. I think a full tank is about 148 miles of range. And that's only going to cost you about, $10 of premium gas. Man, what a great bike this is, though. It's so comfortable. The seat position, the riding position. If you're riding it correctly, and you've got the balls of your toes on the pegs, and your knees squeezing into the tank, holding your torso up and your upper body, no weight on your hands and the handlebars, it's really not stressful on my body at all. And like I said before, I feel like I can ride this thing all day. So if you're looking for like a commuter bike and you gotta have a Super Sport 1000cc, you will be glad you got this one. The Honda is probably a little more compliant with the seating position, I'd imagine. I could be wrong. I have not ridden the Hondas, but that's kind of what they're known for, being the more street-worthy, long-haul ride Super Sport. I've had a couple Hondas in my day. I think I had an 03 600 F4i back in the day, and recently I picked up a 03 600RR. It was yellow, had some problems, so I was fixing it up, but I shortly after got rid of that as well. Flipped it for a little bit of cash after I fixed it up. Something I do sometimes is, if I find the right deal, I will get a bike and fix it up, clean it up, and flip it, because the Atlanta market for bikes, they're always buying. Not much else to do in Atlanta. You're in the middle, smack dab in the middle of a forest. So when you go to get out your house, you got the usual, let's go out to eat, or let's go play putt-putt, or let's go to Dave & Buster's, and all that wears out pretty quickly. And the most fun thing to do in Atlanta is ride your motorcycle or drive your car. That's really the main thing. There's a big car culture here, big motorcycle culture here, and you can tell because there's donuts marks in the middle of the road right there, and you see those everywhere. I need to get a track bike, man. I've been looking for a cheap, older bike with some miles on it that I can just take to the track and not worry about laying down, Because this and my R1 are kind of expensive, so I don't want to risk pushing them too hard and crashing them. I mean, yeah, they got insurance and all that, but still, I don't want to crash, not on the street either. On a track might be a little different. So I'll definitely be in full leathers, I'll have my airbag vest on like I do right now. But the track is a little more predictable as far as a crash is concerned. You're going to slide on pretty much smooth pavement and go into the grass or whatever they got, the bumpers. Whereas out here, you might hit a pole, you're going to go into a ditch, hit a mailbox, hit somebody's house, tree, fucking brick mailbox. You don't know what you're going to hit, and then You know, just you don't ever want to push it hard on the street like you're on a track. Don't get cocky thinking that, you know, nothing bad will ever happen to you, because it will. There's some more burnouts right there. Looks like somebody was burning out a motorcycle too. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys a little update. My uploads are kind of sporadic sometimes. You know, the weather gets bad, and then, you know, I'm trying to do other stuff like go out of town or work or whatever have you. And hard to get in some content sometimes, but I'm still here doing what I can. And I've already done, obviously, a break and ride video of this bike, so I'm going to try to make this one a little different with the oil change and the results afterwards. Hopefully. I like to make my videos nice and long, you know, at least 45 minutes worth of entertainment for an episode of New School Classics. The car's doing good. The C8 is doing great. Just changed the oil. The oil was still clean on the C8, even at 50% oil life, so probably didn't even have to change it. But me being me, I'm always going the extra mile with the maintenance on the cars and the bikes. I have this vision of these vehicles lasting forever. I will always have them as long as I change the oil and maintenance them, you know, overbearingly so, you know. So we'll see if that holds true, you know. How many miles do you think I can get on a GSXR 1000R or an R1 or a C8 if you just are constantly keeping clean oil and stuff and clean fluids in there and taking care of it? I think they could last a lifetime. Eventually the engine will wear out no matter what, but at what point, you know? What the fuck? Hate this shit. Had to hold my breath there for a second. Through the dirt cloud. But yeah, I think I could see 400,000, 500,000 miles plus on the C8 the way I take care of it. And these bikes, I think I'll get 200K plus out of these bikes the way I maintenance them. So I would like to see that happen. You know, 15, 20 years down the road, I'm still sitting on these babies, you know, still in minty fresh condition, you know. That's the goal. Even though they'll be outdated by then, and you know, they probably won't be the fastest or whatever the new technology is then, I'll still have my babies. And they'll still be cool to me, you know, because I'll always remember the days that I bought them new and, you know, stuff like that. And y'all about to crash. Oh yeah, here comes the magical cabin. We're coming up on my favorite spot in the forest. We're gonna pass by my second favorite spot. This downshifts so elegantly. And just the sound of that inline four screaming away. It's like a low scream. Here's the magical cabin. We have made it yet again. Oh, they cut the grass. Did a little yard maintenance. I wonder if somebody actually lives there. It's possible. The magical cabin. Nobody behind me, so. There's more donuts right there. Look how beautiful that is. Beautiful property there. Nice and private road. Beautiful sky. Beautiful trees. Beautiful America. Yeah, guys, what do you think of the 2022 GSXR 1000R? Do you think it's for you? Do you prefer the Yamaha? Do you prefer the new facelifted and I think other things lifted Kawasaki ZX10R, which was actually my first preference, but the price in this area was a little too high. Oh, I got a fart. I'm gonna fart real quick. Ah, that felt good. Okay. Continue. Had to get that out. Nothing worse than needing to fart while you're trying to ride a super sport, you know? I bet you them MotoGP riders be farting though, man. They be racing and they just be blasting ass, I bet. Here's this other weird little stream. Is this? I can't tell if this is private property or what, but one of these days I'm just gonna park over here and go hang out in that stream. It doesn't look like it's private property. Looks like it's kind of just out there. Yeah, ooh, a little bumpy. Gum Creek. Let's take a trip down Gum Creek. I want to go down Gum Creek. I think we got that church over here that I was at. Oh shit, you see that bird? That bird fucking straight up U-turned. He said, oh shit, the GSXR 1000's about to take me out. Oh, just lagged out there. That was weird. I might have not shifted it hard enough. I'm so used to pressing it super soft. It actually has a setting in here that you can adjust the softness of the press for the quick shift. I haven't fooled with any of that, but occasionally this bike will do that, and it might be user error. I think it is. I'm getting too comfortable barely tapping it, and then it lags out on me a bit. So I gotta remind myself to put a little more oomph in the kicks when I shift it. Let's see, what are we at? 517 miles. There's the queue! The barbecue at the pop-up car wash. Oh yeah, we're gonna get some oil changing done today. It's happening today. I'm gonna put it right up on the stands when I get home. And we're gonna get to work taking these fairings off. Well, hopefully just one. I gotta figure out which side it is. Maybe watch a couple YouTube videos first. Just make sure I get the correct side. Oh yeah. Alright guys, I'm gonna cut this part short. That way I can put on these miles and you guys won't have to suffer through all of it with me, and then we can just hop straight into the oil change. And then the ride after the oil change, when I can actually take the bike up a little higher in the RPM range. I want to say to 12,000 I can take it up according to the manual. So we're going to cut this part short right now, and here comes the oil change. Alright guys, there we have it, 600 miles exactly. Let's get the oil changes on this thing. Alright guys, we got our XR 1040 here. I got the bike up on the stands. Well, we got it on one stand. Here is what you need. There's the part number. And it comes with 4 quarts of the XR R900 full synthetic. Comes with the oil filter and 2 crush washers. You just have to see which one you need. And then that's it. So it's going to take about 3.8 quarts. That looks to be the oil window right there. So you can see where the oil's at. And yeah, 3.8 quarts. Get it swapped out here pretty quickly. The fairings look pretty easy to take off. It's just Allen keys. I don't see any special clips or anything, but if I do find some, I will make a video. I will include it. The oil filter is going to be on the left side of the bike, hiding in there. So we're just going to get started removing these fairings. Okay, so removing all the other bolts may have been a little unnecessary, but this is my first time working on this bike. So there's a bolt here, and you got this fastener in here. Still not sure if that's necessary to remove or not. But then you got this bottom piece will separate from this piece by just pushing forward on it. I've got the first part separated because it does look like it's just clips here, but if you actually get a view from the underside back here, there is a Phillips screw right here holding these pieces together, sort of. So you're not going to be able to get this second clip off until you unscrew it. You're going to want a tiny little stubby screwdriver like this to access it, and it's not going to be easy. Like you have to walk here. Real. Alright, and there it is. That's what's holding your fairings together that you wouldn't even realize is there. So now I should be able to snap this piece off without issue. Yep, there we go. Well, you can get a little more flex there if you undo these bottom clips here. It'll at least allow you to flex it more, and then you got another Phillips head back here if you want to fully remove this bottom piece. But that is not going to be easy to get to, so I think that is going to give us just enough room to pull this filter off. So I'm going to start draining the crankcase, which is on the other side. I'm going to use a 17mm socket head to crack the drain bolt. There we go. So all else fails, microfiber and vice grips to get that off. And we're just going to crack it for ventilation while we drain. There we go. Fuck. God damn.
Here's the filter. Doesn't look like there's any grease on that. So you're probably gonna want a little oil filter wrench, strap wrench like this. Let's see if I put them on there. Yeah. And cracking it. Here it comes. Can you get me another towel? Oh, never mind, I got one right here. I'm gonna take this towel and place it over my headers so oil doesn't drop all over them. I'm gonna attempt to save some of the mess on my headers. It's a very long thread. Okay. Well, we sort of saved it, not really. That didn't really work out as I planned. So it's always helpful to have some of this to get the oil off your hands before you try to screw on the oil filter, because you'll be slipping and sliding, especially if you get oil on the housing or the outside housing of the oil filter. New filter ready to go. So here's a good method for tightening it. Just as you see my hands, this is going to need to be your hand placement, because this was great for getting it off, but I'm not able to maneuver it the opposite way to tighten it, because the tolerances, the spaces are just too tight. So you're going to have to stick your hand in like this and just make sure you tighten it with your hand until it can't go anymore. So you don't want it to leak. Alright, that's pretty snug there. So now we're going to move on to getting the drain bolt back in. Let's see what crush washer we're going to replace here. Oh, look at all the metal filings from the break-in. You can see all the filings from the break-in. I'm going to clean that off. Oh yeah. Looks like it's going to be this one. This one here. You can see it's on right there. So I've attempted removing this crush washer. It is on there so tight though, it's either going to damage the threads on the bolt, or you're just not going to be able to get it off, and then you're going to damage this existing crush washer to the point to where you're just going to have to go get a new drain bolt. So my advice to you is, if your crush washer is like mine and it's just extremely tight on there, don't even try to take it off. Just leave it on there. It's still good. It's still going to do its job. I've slightly nicked mine there trying to get it off, but it should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and throw the drain bolt back in now. Alright guys, I have very paranoid-like wiped out the inside of this for about 5-10 minutes just to make sure there's no little pieces of debris. I like to take my finger and just kind of run it along the inside and make sure I just get any debris out that I can get before I go dumping oil in. You always want to start it up first, one time, let it run for a couple of seconds, get that oil moving in there. Just had to start up the bike, get the oil flowing into the filter, into the other parts of the engine. So let's continue. Yeah, so I've once again overfilled it because the oil is so clean you can't even see it, especially if you're the one doing the filling and stuff. I should have had Danielle come over here and watch the window because I didn't even notice it go all the way up. So we're just gonna crack the drain bolt again and drain some out. Sounded good. Alright guys, let's see where that oil level ends. You can see the smoke coming from the oil left on the headers. Nothing wrong with the bike. Let's check that oil level. Now that the bike's off. And it looks about perfect. Right in the middle. Right where you want it. Looking good. Alright, let's get her pieced back together and let's take her for a run. We can rev her out a bit now. Alright guys, so here's the maintenance chart for the 2022 Suzuki GSXR 1000R. As you can see, engine oil here, R for replace at 600 miles. So we did that correctly. The next oil change is going to be at 4,000, and according to the manual, it even says you can leave the filter on there. So you don't have to change the filter at the 4,000, just the oil. And then at 7,500 miles, wants you to do the oil and the filter. So between oil changes, apparently you can leave the filter on. I probably won't, but you can. So let's go take it for a ride.
We just changed the oil on the 2022 GSXR 1000R per manufacturer recommendation at the 600-mile break-in. We changed it with the X-Star R9000, I believe, 1040 full synthetic per manufacturer recommendation. We can now rev the bike out to 10,000 RPMs until we hit 1,000 miles. Then once we hit 1,000 miles, we can go balls to the wall. I'm sure I could now, and it wouldn't be much of an issue, but I'm a stickler for manual preferences and suggestions. So we're just gonna be a good boy and do what the manual says. It feels great taking it past 7,000, I'll tell you that. One small thing about this bike, I think I may have to go get this quick shifter looked at. Need to make sure that it's not user error. It might be. Maybe I have some of the settings a little weird, but every once in a while it'll give me this like really laggy quick shift, which throws you off. Well, that feels good. I need to figure out how to turn the service warning light off too. Haven't tried to mess with that yet. There's this little wrench. I don't know if you guys can see it on my dash, but a little wrench on the right hand side of the display will pop up for suggested maintenance intervals. So that must have came on around my 600 mile mark. Oh, that felt nice. So I just got to figure out how to turn that off and reset it for 4,000 miles. I haven't attempted to do so yet. But man, this bike feels amazing with the fresh oil properly done. It took me a while to do it my first time working on this bike. I want to say about an hour and a half. I was actually out there messing with these things. It was mainly the fairings. I probably could have read in the user manual how to take the fairings off, because it does explain in the user manual how to do it, but that's just not how I like to do it. You know, I'm sort of familiar with removing fairings from these types of bikes, so I did it without reading the manual. I accomplished it. It just took about an hour and a half. These fairings are a little tricky. I thought it would be easier than the R1. The R1's got a lot of push pins, whereas this has like clips and Phillips head screws. And I couldn't even get the whole bottom fairing piece off, but you can disconnect enough stuff to be able to flex it out the way to access that oil filter. And then another issue I was having was the crush washer on the drain bolt was just so tightly fitted to the drain bolt, I could not get it off. So I don't know what's up with that. But the oil change kit came with new crush washers, so I wanted to put a new one on there, but there was no way I was getting that crush washer off without damaging the drain bolt. The threads would have got chewed up had I tried pulling that thing off, so I just left the old one on there for now. I think when I take it in sometime next week after Memorial Day, I'm gonna get them to look at this quick shifter and just make sure everything's good with it, so that way I know it's probably my user error for the laggy quick shifts occasionally that I get. And I'm gonna get them to see if I can get a new drain bolt. That way it just has a fresh crush washer on there. And yeah, and then eventually I'm gonna take this over to Living Good Motorsports here in East Georgia and get them to look at these brakes. These front brakes feel a little spongy, a little soft, so we might have some air in the lines in the front brakes. And I have a radiator guard that needs to be installed. And I don't really feel like dealing with these fairings anymore. So I will gladly pay Living Good Motorsports to put that radiator guard on there and get this air out of my brake lines here, so I can get some good feeling front brakes. Loving the way this thing feels now that I got a lot more rev range out of it now. Sounds great. Loves the fresh oil, that's for sure. That oil filter was a pain in the butt to get off too. You gotta have an oil filter strap wrench to get that thing off. And make sure you gotta tighten the crap out of it too. Another issue I was having was after I hand tightened it as much as I could, I started the bike up and was just checking for leaks, and there was a little tiny bit of drippage coming out the oil filter. So I had to tighten it some more, but I couldn't get it any more tight with my hand. So I have a little trick that I like to use. And you know those chamois? You can get those chamois to like dry off your car, and it soaks up all the water, and then you wring it out and you can just keep reusing it to soak up all the water. When those things are dry, they grip oil filters really well. So I was able to take the chamois and wrap it around that oil filter and tighten it probably another 1/4 inch, or 1/4 turn I should say. And that stopped all the drippage. So you're gonna want, you know, a socket set, a small stubby Phillips head screwdriver, a chamois, and a little strap wrench to fit that filter. It has to be the perfect size strap wrench to fit that filter. And then of course you're gonna want the Suzuki GSXR R 1040 full synthetic oil change kit. And maybe your crush washer will come off a little easier than mine wanted to. I don't know if I just had a bogus one or what. But if not, the original crush washer should work just fine. Just make sure it's not leaking. After you put the new oil in it, start the bike up and just lay down on the ground and look at the drain bolt and look at your oil filter and make sure absolutely nothing is coming out of either, and you'll be good. Nice cool breeze today, again. There's a little higher pull there. Something else I'm noticing, once it gets higher into the rev range, I feel like there's a lot of vibration happening. You can hear it. It just sounds like everything is vibrating, which it is. I guess that's normal. Kind of unsettling though. I'm sure my chain needs to be tightened. I'm sure the 1000cc motor has properly stretched out the chain a little bit. See if we can get to some areas where I can rev this thing out. There's nobody behind me. Create some space here. Do a little first gear ripper. Oh, there is a car behind me now. See if we can get a first gear ripper in. See if that front wheel comes up. Well, I got all the nannies on, so it probably won't. Sounds good though. Feels good. Temperature's good. It wants to be revved out, that's for sure. And the can on this thing sounds amazing. Maybe I should get this tuned, huh? Fuck it, just get it tuned, you know? At least it'll be cheaper than the R1. by about 2,800 bucks, because I don't think I'll have to put a full exhaust on this thing. Just leave the slip on. Just tune it for the slip on or something, right? These front brakes just feel so spongy. It's like I can pull it all the way back to the throttle, which is just weird. I don't think I'm supposed to be pulling it back that far. There's that lag. What is that bullshit? That's what I'm talking about. It's got to be something wrong in here. Something's weird's going on, because that was a perfect shift with my foot. And it did that lag and it threw my body forward. I don't like that. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm gonna have to get that checked out. That's not cool. Just lags and like lurches and throws me forward. Like, I don't know why it does that. The engine feels good though. That quick shifter can be a little funky sometimes. I used to love it. It's still smooth, but now I gotta worry every time I quick shift with it if it's gonna lurch me. It works most of the time. Fast. She's definitely fast. I'm just a little upset about that lurch and the quick shifty. Gotta get her checked out. Maybe the linkage needs to be adjusted. I don't know. It's under warranty though, so. Get her checked out. Everything else feels great though, besides the brakes and the random quick shifting problem. So, hate to say negative things about the bike, because I love it. It's great. But you know, these things happen. And you just got to know what to look for and just be aware of it. So, you know, maybe I'll be helping you guys look out for some of the same issues that your bike might be having, and you know, you'll get to take care of it after watching my video if you missed it before. Have a lot more fun. It's much more hyperactive now that we can go up to 10. I need to get my R1 back so I can compare. Should be coming back real soon. Never lurches on the downshift, only on the upshifts occasionally. And it's maybe like 1 out of 20 shifts it'll do the weird lurch thing. See, it almost did it right there again. It did like a baby one right there. It wasn't as bad as it usually is though. So I wonder, I can't tell if it's something I'm doing wrong or what. I mean, I feel like I'm just shifting like normal. But there are settings on this quick shifter for like how sensitive you want the quick shifter to be. So I feel like that system might be causing the lags. Maybe it's set too sensitive, maybe it's not sensitive enough. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play with it. So I may pull over at the next gas station I see or something and see if we can get this this service warning wrench off the dash and see if we can make some quick shifter adjustment settings. I didn't bring the manual though, so we'll see what we can do though. Comes the super tight corner. This is definitely a second gear type of corner. It's always worse if there happens to be a car going the opposite way. Cruising at a beautiful 183 temperature. Got about half a tank of gas. Cruising in the backwoods. I think my whole ass is out as usual. My shirt gets blown up, then my butt cheeks start hanging out. That's why I like to wear the dang tracksuit, so I don't have to worry about my ass hanging out and looking like a goober. But it's a little warm for that. But as they say, rather sweat than bleed. Dang, he's going the same way. What happens if we go right? Let's go right. I've never gone right before. Let's go right. See what's this way. Second gear in high RPM sounds amazing and it feels really good. Lots of power right there. Little action, just a little bit. And she just needs a couple little little tuners, and she'll be 100%. But all right, guys, thanks for checking out my last break-in ride and post-break-in ride of the GSXR. I hope the oil change video helps some of you guys knock out your first maintenance on this thing. And you know, it's always good just to learn how to touch your bike and stuff, you know what I mean? So in the event one day, you know, you can't take it to the shop or you just don't want to, you know, you can just knock it out yourself real easy. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe my videos if you want to be part of the New School Classics family. And I'll be uploading content similar to this 3 times a month. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.